Oh yeah. Actually, I want an energy drink. You got what, the grape one. Which flavor should I go for? Blue raspberry?
Whichever you can reach for.
Blue. Okay, so that's gonna be my drink. We're getting ready for a Q&A. I just wanna do like a quick flex on the mirror, if that's okay. Okay. All right, so this is like my usual light. Now I
Nothing?
put... well, you need to stand in this corner.
No, you're good.
Come into this corner so
Okay,
you can
okay.
get shot. There you go, that's better. Actually, I feel like I'm not as dry right now.
Yeah.
But this is my light.
What was the whole purpose of this again?
I just wanted to flex for you guys. No, because people tell me, they say like, oh, like, you're like editing your waist. And, you know, no, I'm fucking not. I'm just dieting and training properly, so just wanted to show people. That's why I put videos up time to time, because when I put photos, literally, I get people messaging me telling me, oh, you're just editing your body, or like, oh, I know that you like edit your booty or whatever. No, it's a stance thing. When it comes to booty, it's literally a stance thing, see?
Are you letting the haters get to you?
They motivate me, to be honest. Freaking love haters. If you don't have haters, you ain't doing it right. So there was no purpose of that, but I just wanted to show you my flex mirror. This is the flex mirror. I have like, yeah, let me get pause there. Hello, it is Shana Garcia, IFBB Bikini Pro, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we are changing things up. We don't want to just do workouts every single episode, but we thought we would do a Q&A because I know a lot of people want to get to know me a little bit more, but you know, I get a lot of people that ask questions, flick me through messages and DMs, and I don't always get to them in time. So I thought I would bring the most common and interesting questions on here, but also so you guys can get to know me a little bit, because I feel like you all know that I just like to flex and talk a lot and laugh a lot and train a lot. But we're gonna get to know me a little bit. So we got some questions down, and some are a little bit spicy, I'd say. But I definitely brought the ones that are appropriate. Okay, so I don't have any answers to these questions, so I literally grabbed the questions, and so you're gonna get some real answers here. So let's go. Okay, so first one, what is your dream workout partner? To be honest, I don't like working out with partners. I think that based on my experience, when I've ever worked out with a guy, it's never ended very well. And I think it's because, I don't know if it's an ego thing, but some guys, I don't want to make any enemies on here. I don't want to not have a workout boyfriend in the future. But like some guys will like push girls to the point where like they actually can't push and they're like, come on. And I feel like when you have different goals, it's a little bit hard to push each other sometimes. So it depends. But my dream workout partner would be the type to push me throughout my sets, spot me throughout the reps that I struggle in the most, and C-bum. Yeah, there you go. How to find balance in the off season without compromising progress. Okay, so this isn't me trying to sell myself right now, but I have never been without a coach. And even if I'm a coach, I still need that accountability, especially in the improvement and off season, because it's so easy to fall off track. So my advice is to grab someone or a professional to be able to hold you accountable, give you that extra push, and someone that can be so straightforward with you when you're not on track, because it's so easy to be flexible. And you know, sometimes you'll have someone that'll say, okay, then that's totally fine, go out and eat. But like if your body composition isn't good, or if you're falling off track, you need that person to tell you like, no, like clean it up. Most special memory since starting your bodybuilding journey? Of course, it is my pro card win. I will never ever forget that moment, but I won't even forget that season. That was definitely the season where I would say in my heart, in my mind, push the hardest, and deep down, like I wanted it so bad. I have never had that same sort of feeling throughout my whole career as to wanting like when I wanted my pro card. It was one of those things where I was just like, I'm never giving up until I get there. So right now I'm a pro, but it's definitely a new journey, and the goal is to get Olympia qualified. But yeah, I would say that's my most special memory. Do you only date bodybuilders? I actually really like this question because I think bodybuilding is definitely its own community, and we are definitely different beings. I like lifestyle is obviously a thing. Like my lifestyle isn't the funnest. It's a lot more disciplined, but based on my experience from the past, I have dated outside of bodybuilders, but they do need to at least be into fitness to understand my lifestyle too, because especially for times from like competing, my lifestyle goes to the extreme when it comes to cutting out certain things and just being in routine for like my cardio, my training sessions. And there's no like 5% days, like it always has to be 100%. So for someone to support that lifestyle, it's not very easy to find. So do I only date bodybuilders? I mean, for the last few years, I have been dating people that are bodybuilders, but that made me sound like the biggest hoe. Okay, so I do like people that are fit because I take care of myself as well, but lifestyle is just a huge thing. So if there are people that date outside of bodybuilding, if they have a supportive partner, that's totally fine. I just haven't had that yet. So I mean, if you're a bodybuilder, Othello is so cute. It's just Othello. So if you're a bodybuilder, you know, no, I'm joking. Why Vegas? So a lot of people think I'm in LA for some reason. I think it's because my profile says LV, but why Vegas? So last year I actually came to visit the US, and I am a citizen. So I was born and raised in Philadelphia. I moved to Australia when I was young, and that's where I've been spending most of my life in the last few years. So I had never been back since I left, but I do have family here, and I did have some new friends that came to Australia, and they told me that, like, you know, you should totally check the US out. So that's what I did, long story short. My first stop was Vegas, and I did get to check out the other states as well. But I really, really loved Vegas. And the bodybuilding community here is huge. This is also where we have the Olympia, but there was just something about it that felt like home. So yeah. Do you have regular cheat meals? Not when I'm prepping. So I do have refeeds time to time. In this particular prep, I have had a couple. But cheat meals, having regular refeeds, I do that in my improvement season. So I was having about a couple a week. I do have that good balance. Even if they say bodybuilders shouldn't be having balance, it's not a balanced lifestyle. But I do have a couple when I'm in my improvement season every week. But I don't go crazy. I always do stick to similar things as to what I would eat in my meal prep, like steak, fish, chicken. And then time to time, I'll get a sneaky burger or pizza, but not right now because we are prepping, but definitely in my improvement season. What is your favorite cuisine? Oh, there's more than just one. My ultimate, I would say, is Japanese. I love Japanese food. I love me Wagyu. I love sushi. Italian, I like Italian as well. To be honest, I like food. What's your favorite cuisine?
Ramen noodles.
Nah, you're not joking.
No, I actually like burgers.
Burgers, okay.
Yeah,
I like good burgers as well.
I feel like it's so easy to, I guess, prep around that too, right?
Yeah.
Eating ground beef and then like low calorie buns or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty good.
Yeah. What is the biggest mistake you see competitors make during prep? There's a lot, but I would say the most common one, and what I do not like seeing, especially being a coach and a client myself, are when people compare themselves to other competitors, and then that determines how hard they push in their prep, or sometimes they let it mentally affect them. When you compare yourself to others, or when you look at other people and think that they're looking better, you're honestly just setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself back from pushing harder. You're occupying your mind to be focusing on them when you could be focusing on yourself. You could be putting all that energy into yourself and becoming a better athlete. What's most important when you're competing is beating your last self and bringing the best package that you can. That is the most that you could do. Do you think competitors ever sleep their way to sponsorships or opportunities? Hold on, man. Can you cut this?
Shame. Shame. Shame.
No, I haven't. I haven't. I haven't. Okay, but I'm not gonna lie. I know people that think that they have to suck their way into making it to the top. That's definitely not the way to go. With any sport or any opportunities that you have for the future, you should always push in the right direction and make sure you are putting the correct efforts in, appropriate and correct efforts. AKA, don't be sleeping around. You don't need to sleep around. That one there, when I seen it, I was like, holy shit, that's a good fucking question. Why are there no functional relationships in the bodybuilding world? I've had a few people ask me this. Now, I wouldn't say that there are no functional relationships. I've seen a lot of successful relationships, but it's not an easy world to be in, that's for sure. The thing about the bodybuilding community, the reality, I'll give you guys the reality. There's a lot of good looking people. There's a lot of fit people. And especially in this era right now, we got a lot of good looking, fit, successful people. Social media doesn't make it any easier. Social media makes things so much harder. And I think these days, it's not just bodybuilders in general. I think it's the whole world, to be honest. It's this generation right now. Social media has obviously grown and it exposes you to a lot more than what people had back in the day. Why are there no functional relationships in the bodybuilding world? I don't think it's just the bodybuilding world. I think this is the social media world in general. Have you ever looked at another competitor and thought, what the F? How did she even beat me? Yes, I have. Okay, so what I've learned over the years is to take the feedback, all right? And this is what I always tell my clients as well. Sometimes you can just get so close and you're just like, what the hell? Like, how did that person beat me? And I've been in those situations quite a few times. What you need to do is take the feedback, and there's a reason why you didn't get the first place or the goal that you really wanted for that show. Take that feedback, because every athlete has weaknesses. You also have your strengths as well. And a lot of us do look at our strengths a lot more and forget about our weaknesses sometimes. You need to be able to swallow constructive criticism, take it in, and put in the work and come back better for next time.
We're also going to tag the girl right here.
Yeah. I listened to one of your podcasts and you mentioned how you have only ever gotten first or second place in all of your journey. How do you think you would feel if you got less? Okay, I think this is an older podcast because my most recent show, I actually got third, but that's as a pro athlete. Now, my whole bodybuilding career, I've had a good run. I've always been within the top 3. But when I first started bodybuilding, I won't say I got it easy, but I got my pro card like straight away in my first season in the Natural Federation. And that's when I knew that that's when I knew that I like found myself. I was like, I think this is like my thing, you know? I've had seasons where I've had, second to the overall winner or second place. And that hurt because I started off very strong. So in my last pro show, I got third place, and that was hard for me. That was very, very hard for me. I didn't take it well. But I know there would have been a lot of athletes that would have killed to just be within the top 3, especially in the pro range, right? I have now accepted that after you get your pro card and when you're in the run to trying to get into the Olympia, the journey changes, right? I wouldn't say it's like starting from scratch, but it's like the next level up. You're on a level where a lot of people have also won their pro cards. They are just as advanced as you when it comes to training and mindset. And it's definitely not the same as being in the amateur league, that's for sure. And this is not even to diss the amateur league. It's just that like everyone's on their A game when you're in the pro league. So I have gone to the point now where I'm just like focusing, like I mentioned in one of my other questions, I'm focusing on becoming the better version of myself, which I know I have already been in my last package. And if I get any less, I'm gonna take that feedback on and make sure that I bring it my best to the next show. How did you get into bodybuilding? I love it when people ask me this question because I'm about to get personal. So I got into my bodybuilding journey when I was I first got into it when I was like 19. Properly anyways. Now, when I was 18 years old was the first time I got into like the gym and fitness. And the reason why I did that is because I was living a lifestyle of like party, drinking, smoking, all of that, you name it. I freaking did it. Definitely wasn't hanging with the right crowd at the time. And then I did have a boyfriend. Oh my God. Okay, let's just go deep. Let's just go deep. I had a boyfriend at the time and I was like not taking care of myself. I didn't know where I was going. I wasn't into fitness. And he ended up breaking up with me. And then I found out months later that he was already in a relationship in the last few months of our relationship before it ended. But when we ended, it was just like, and I just knew, I was just like, what did I do wrong? You know, and at the time, me and him, we did live very similar lifestyles. So we did have a chat after we broke up, and he just told me like that he did start seeing someone else. She's this, she's that, she's this, she's that, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, oh my God, like I need to start taking care of myself. So literally the week after that happened, I booked a personal training session with a trainer. I dropped all my bad habits and I made sure that like I was going to change myself for the better, okay? And my goal at the time was to get him back as a boyfriend. I was like, I want to become hot, I want to get him back, and I want him to leave the girl that he's with. Then it got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm starting to feel good, you know? So I took these sessions and I booked more sessions. So I booked 3 sessions. I remember I booked an upper body session, a lower body session, and a full body session. And those sessions were brutal because I had never trained properly or anything like that before. And just dropping all my old habits really made it like challenging. So I started eating better. I started feeling better and I kept the consistency going. Then I started seeing results. And then I was like, I'm actually feeling good and looking good. And I wasn't even thinking about my breakup anymore at that point. It was just something, it was an outlet going to the gym and it made me feel good about myself. And then when I started looking good, I was like, okay, I don't mind what I see, you know? So that made me more motivated to just not go back to my old habits. And then, okay, let's fast forward 2 years later. He messaged me. I hope he doesn't view this video, but he messaged me. And then he was like apologizing and just saying like pretty much regretting what he did. And I'm not a person that likes people that come into my life when I'm at my best. And so, like, that's the truth, right? He left me when I was at my lowest. And then he came back when I was pretty much at my best. Like I started my business, I got fit, I got into bodybuilding, and he apologized. And to me, I'm not one to hold grudges. So I accepted the apology and I said, thank you so much. But at that point, I definitely wasn't, at that point, I totally forgot about that whole relationship. I had already been dating as well. And yeah, long story short, I got into bodybuilding and I just never looked back. A couple years into training, I hadn't competed just yet. But I had a girl that approached me at the gym and I remember I was doing a shred for myself and I also started my online business. So I was really trying to push for, you know, being that coach that is an example. I wanted to practice what I preach. So I set myself to a challenge of 12 weeks to shred. At the time, I did have a coach. I'm always with a coach because I like someone holding me accountable. And I started leaning out. I didn't realize I was leaning out in the same season as a bodybuilding show. So I had a girl that approached me and she was about 3 weeks out from show. And she was just like, hey, are you competing? So she pulled me aside at the gym and she was like, hey, are you competing? And I was like, competing in what? And she's like, bodybuilding. And I was like, oh, no. I'm just doing like a shred challenge. And she was like, oh, because I thought you were going to compete. And I was like, when is the competition? She was like, 3 weeks time, like I'm doing it and blah, blah, blah. And so I looked at her, I was like, oh, you look really good. So I searched this girl up and then I waited for her show to happen. And she actually won the overall that season. And then I really started looking into the bodybuilding shows and it actually interested me a little bit. And I was like, maybe I should challenge myself for a bodybuilding show and see how I go. And that'll probably be good to show my clients that you can definitely push for a goal if you really try. So this wasn't like an ultimate goal of mine. I just wanted to try it. So then for the next season, I did a proper shred. I put in 100%, and that's where I did my first bodybuilding show. Shayna Garcia was born in the bodybuilding industry. And then that's where I was like, okay, I think this is it. And I competed pretty much every year since.
You win your first show?
I did win in my first show. I love it when people ask me how I did my first show. So my first show, there was a small, medium, tall and extra tall. So it was a very big season. So I was honestly not even expecting, like, I just told my coach at the time, you know, I just want to be in the top 5 at least. I'll be happy if I was in the top 5. So I remember that they, you know, moved us around, and then they asked all the other people to leave the stage, and they left the top 5 on stage. And I was like so happy. I was like, oh, well, you know, I at least got 5th place, so I'm happy. And then they called the 5th place, the 4th place, the 3rd place. And then they called 2nd place. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I won it. I was like, oh my goodness. So then each first placer for each class had to battle for the overall title. And then I was already so happy that I even made it to the top 5. And then I was even happier that I got first place in my class. So I wasn't expecting anything more, but I just kept bringing what I brought for each class that I joined. And then I won my overall title. And I was like, oh my God. And I remember how overwhelmed I was and shocked I was that night. And I had a boyfriend at the time who was super supportive, but we were both like, dang, like we weren't expecting that, you know? And I was like, hey, what do you mean you weren't expecting that? But that's where we realized that I was definitely 100% in what I was doing. And at that time, it was a time in my life where I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do for like the long term. So I was a trainer. I had actually just dropped dentistry at the time because I realized I wanted to do more fitness things. And then I realized I think I want to be a bodybuilder. So from that time, I just kept pushing, and then I ended up getting into the IFBB, and then I got my pro card in IFBB. So now here we are.
So you're saying all of this started because of a heartbreak?
Nothing better. Okay, like there's nothing better than hot girl revenge. Now it's like hot girl, boss girl revenge, but yes, it started because of a heartbreak. Give us your Ninja Creamy recipe. Fairlife milk, whether that's the light one or the full cream one or the 2% reduced fat. Just put 240 milk, 1 tablespoon of Jello zero sugar pudding mix, any flavor you want. I personally like the butterscotch or the vanilla cheesecake. I put 1 scoop of protein powder, and I put 2 serves of sweetener, and I personally like the equal sweeteners or Splenda. 2 of those, mix it up, and then freeze. So you freeze that overnight, and then after you put that in the mix of the Ninja Creamy, and I literally put 1 Oreo. I crushed the Oreo and I let that spin, respin, you're welcome. Do you ever deal with body images as a pro? Okay, this is definitely a bodybuilder's problem. Yes, of course I do. Every freaking day, like ask Alex, I'm always like, do I look fat? Did you get the good angles? Does my waist look small? Make sure no belly rolls are coming out. Yes, I do, of course. And I think that is one of the main things. Like a lot of us bodybuilders, we have body dysmorphia. I think all of us do. When we're coming out of a show is like the worst because it's so hard to accept a little bit of fat gain when in everyone else's eyes, you're still like really fit. And it's also better for you health-wise. But yes, I do struggle all the freaking time. Have you ever struggled post-show, like binges? Absolutely. I actually struggled at my very first show because I didn't know what it was going to be like after my show. I'm not going to blame my coach or anything for that at the time. My knowledge was not there for it. It also wasn't spoken about, which is why I'm so heavy on talking about post-show with my clients. Like before any of my clients get into a show or before they even hop on stage, I always discuss what we're going to do after because of my experiences that I've had. My first bodybuilding show, I gained 7 kilos in 10 days, and that was a lot. For a short girl like me, it was a lot, and it definitely showed. And it wasn't the same 7 kilos that I had had before I went for my cut. It was like a different 7 kilos. Like to put that in 10 days, it's a lot for the body to handle. I really felt that, and I became insecure immediately. But I remember I felt so lost. I felt like I had no direction, and I set myself for another show to be able to keep discipline. And then it happened again the second time. But every show that I did, I gained more knowledge. I understood why my body was acting the way that it was. And I came better prepared with every season. So as the time went by, it actually got better. But I had at least a couple of binges post-show. When I say couple, I mean like the occasions. So like one show, the first show, I was binging pretty much the day after show, and I just kept going for months and months and months and months. And then it took me a while to taper down and go back into routine. And then I did it again the following season, but it wasn't as bad as the first time because I kind of knew what my body was going through until I gained the better knowledge, until I had better guidance, and I also took on a lot of knowledge myself. I started understanding, you know, what the body really needed for that not to happen.
What's your post-show snack or treat? You know, when you have the metal around your neck.
Yeah, what I like after a post show. My go-to treat after a show is a cinnamon roll, like a nice warm cinnamon roll, just with the original glaze. That is it, nothing crazy on top of it. I mean, a cinnamon roll alone is crazy, but a cinnamon roll, and it has not changed over the years. That is all I want. Have you ever been in a relationship where they didn't support your competing? Yes, I have. Like we spoke about before, I've dated, I don't like saying been with. Why am I sound like a hoe here? I literally just eat, gym, sleep, repeat every single day. But yes, I have been in relationships where they didn't support my bodybuilding journey. And that has been hard. That has been hard because sometimes we meet people and, you know, you like so many qualities about them, but then reality hits when you're on a day-to-day. And the reality is with my lifestyle is that I am a bodybuilder. So I have certain things that I can't do on a daily basis, and there are certain things that I can. But there's a lot of discipline involved. There's a lot of sacrifices to be made, and not all partners can enjoy that with someone like me sometimes. But I have had partners that haven't been in the actual bodybuilding industry, but into fitness, but have been super supportive, and then we've broken up for other reasons. And then I've also had partners that are bodybuilders and completely understand the lifestyle, but then are crazy. No, I'm joking. No, but for real though, it really depends on the person. Whether you're a bodybuilder or not, if you have a supportive partner, whether you're a bodybuilder or not, there are going to be people that will support your lifestyle, and it just really depends on the person. Okay, we're getting a lot of relationship problems. I must be like a relationship guru. I don't know if I'm the right person to come to for this. How do you balance your personal life and relationship? Okay. So at the moment, I don't think I'm the right person to ask. How do you balance it? Honestly, like, relationships should bring value to your life, and it shouldn't be so freaking difficult. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and if it does, then it does. But like, how do you balance it? I think you just need to make sure that before you make this connection or before you commit to someone, you need to know that you guys are aligning and on the same wavelength, aka communication. 100%. I mean, like, ask Alex. Alex has a great functional relationship. Communication is key, right?
Yeah.
Which no people have these days. Do you feel less nervous every time you go on stage since you have been doing this for a while now? No. I actually get nervous every single time, but you get to a point where you pose so much, you know your routine on stage, that you appear as if you're not nervous, because this is why I preach on posing so much, because how you present yourself really matters on stage. And if you're not practicing enough, you're not showing confidence, because there's a way to stand and walk and smile to show confidence on stage, it'll easily show. But every time, yes, I have been freaking nervous. I remember the first time I competed, actually, I was like, why am I doing this? Like, literally 2 minutes before I went on stage, I was like, should I even be here right now? And I thought, I've been cutting for like 14 weeks. Should I even be doing this right now? And then you get on stage. But once you go on stage, after you have gone on once, it honestly gets easier for that day. But when you come for the next show, it feels like you're doing it all over again. But once you get on stage once, you get the nerves out of your system, it becomes easier and easier. There was a lot of, there was some questions that I got in here, but I'm like, this is just not okay. Or like, I have questions, feet questions. There's a lot of stuff, okay? On a daily basis, sometimes I'm like, damn, okay. That is a wrap with our questions. So next time, you want to bring some spicy stuff on here, bring it. We're going to do these Q&As time to time. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next Q&A.